Lord have mercy. All right, what's up, YouTube? Let me turn this phone on because I'm getting bombarded with texts all over the country. People got things to say. I want to make sure that we're good. I want to make sure the sound is good. We are live. This is a live show. We are live. Do not come in here talking about is this a replay because you see the title. You know we ain't talking about this other stuff. Okay, we are definitely live. All right, and shout out to y'all. I do want to apologize. I was supposed to do members only today, but I overslept. I had took a good nap. We're gonna postpone that members only live and do it actually on Wednesday. Okay, we're gonna do it on Wednesday. Then we're gonna plan to do something for Thanksgiving, for members only. So I'm gonna stream live when my mother is cooking and preparing the Thanksgiving food. I think I'm gonna do that for members only. But we have a lot to discuss in this video. On last night, we had the fake victim of Blueface. And yesterday we put it out there that it was the fake victim. So I had a source reach out to me saying that this is not the actual victim, that this person is a scam artist. And that is why Storm Monroe proceeded not to do the video with him on his show. And so I'm glad we did not send him the $150. And I'm super glad that we did not send him the $150 because he was the fake victim. Now he's reaching out to folks saying that why would Wiley record me without my permission? And I'm like this: if you're talking to the media, you always gonna be recorded. All right. So we got a little snippet of that video, and so we released it, and it wasn't worth it because we put it out there, and over 6,000 people tuned into the live last night. And I also heard that our lives are being shadow banned. People are not being able to see our videos. I don't know what's going on. We reached out to YouTube. They said it's a glitch. They're working on it, etc. And that's why we have a text list, and it's a 200 of you all. Let me see. Let me get the right amount of people that's actually on the text list. I think it's 200 and give me a second. I want to make sure we give it 231 people signed up on the text list, meaning that you get your notification. So we send out a text every time we go live on YouTube because for a long time, people lives have not been shown. So it's very difficult and very challenging for me to put the lives up or as well. So that's what's going on. And I'm hearing people are saying many people said I'm subscribed to no longer show up on my subscription tab. And that's why we just go live every day. We restream lives. I had a friend hit me up last night. He said, Wiley, you get good views when you restream. I say you restream because it just drives you in the algorithm. I've learned that from Roland Martin, where Roland Martin will restream his live 3 to 4 to maybe 5 times a day because there's no rule to say you can't restream a live. That's what I do. Like on tonight, we're gonna restream another live as well. And so I greatly appreciate that. And that's why I tell people continue to check out the page. Check me out on Instagram. We go live on Instagram. We go live over there on Station Head. And that's what it is. Station Head people, y'all head over to YouTube. I'm gonna end this. It's 20 of y'all over there. I need these views translated over there on YouTube. So see y'all on youtube.com/The Wiley Show. Type in The Wiley Show. That's TheWileyshow. All right. So we just did that. And right now I'm running a poll and I'm asking you, are you subscribed to The Wiley Show? 97% of you said yes. 3% said no. So whoever's that 3%, subscribe today. So that's how that goes. So yesterday we interviewed the fake victim of Blueface, and I was getting, dragged. Shout out to a viewer of mine's. We're saying that I'm fighting by myself. You're going into a battle with Storm Monroe, and I said I could just give any question that I want to do, and said you are definitely doing this against Storm Monroe, and you're fighting with yourself because Storm doesn't bother anybody. I posed the question because that's the question that I posed. But let me read some of the comments that I wrote. Because on yesterday I wrote a comment. I said Blueface victim called into my show. Now people are saying I stole another Storm Monroe interview. I tagged Storm in this. So Love Maria said these YouTube streets is for everyone for themselves. If that guy decided to go do the interview with you, that was his choice. Wiley, you did what you needed to do for your channel. Don't think that would have done the same to you. You snooze, you lose. Another person said, hey, Wiley Hunt, keep doing your thing. Another person said this, congrats on your channel growth. The last time I checked, nobody has exclusive rights to the story, so keep doing you. That's what that person said. Another person said, you literally can't make this ish up. Another person said, tell a few people to shut up and have CPL seats. Get your interview, babe. They'll never get over it. They said, another person said, child, nobody stole anything from Storm. Tell him to steal a personality, then learn how to conduct an interview with his boring self. That is what somebody said over there on social media. And so I was definitely having to decide. We did not reach out to Storm about Storm at any way about it, because I feel like this, when it comes to these interviews, if a person wants to come on the Wiley Show, I remember MC Shaky, we announced that we was going to interview MC Shaky, and later on in that episode, later on that night, which was a Sunday, MC Shaky showed up on Storm Monroe's platform. MC Shaky did not even continue to go on the Wiley Show. So what did I learn from that MC Shaky scandal or situation? I've learned not to pre-announce interviews before I interview the person. I don't pre-announce interviews, just like with the nosy neighbor. We had the nosy neighbor, Corey Hardrick, nosy neighbor, on the show. We did not pre-announce. She came on. It was a shocker. It happened in the middle of the night, and that video has continued to grow as we speak. That video have almost 30,000 viewership right now. It's continuing to grow. At first, it was at 5,000, then it was at 10,000, then it was at 15,000. Now that video is close to 30,000. People are still sending me comments and talking about that one particular video. But when she reached out to us she reached out to a third party, and then a nosy neighbor came on, we didn't pre-announce. We didn't say, hey, we got this interview, because it could have easily gotten stolen. So we did the interview in the middle of the night, and by the time the competition woke up, we have already interviewed the neighbor. And then what did Storm Monroe decide to do? He was going to charge for the interview, but she came on the Wiley Show. Then she went on another show, Sean David Wade. Sean David Wade had our back, and then the videos just started to shoot up in views. And then Storm announced later that day, he said, listen, we're going to give a refund, and we're not going to interview the nosy neighbor. And then Storm decided to throw shots against the Wiley Show and say that his interview was better. And the only thing that we did was we manifested the interview, and we put it out there and said, we want to talk to the nosy neighbor. And I kept saying it on my channel, and it touched somebody right then and there. And somebody heard what I said and reached out to the nosy neighbor. And she came on the Wiley Show. That's all we said was, we want to talk to the nosy neighbor. All right. And we put that request out there, and it touched somebody's, and then that nosy neighbor came on the show. Okay. And it came on the show. And it's nothing, I'm going to say personally, it's nothing negative about what we said about the nosy neighbor. We allowed the nosy neighbor to talk. Okay. All right. We allowed the nosy neighbor to talk, and she was able to give her comments to the point Corey Hardrick blocked us, not just on the Wiley Show Twitter. He blocked us on our second Twitter account. And he blocked us on Facebook. And I never reached out to him on Facebook. So that means he Googled my name and researched my name and blocked me from all those sites. Now, another request is that we want to interview Tia. There's another request. We want to get Tia on the show. And we want to have a conversation with Tia. So that's how that went. And so when we interviewed the nosy neighbor, Storm went on Conscious TV live. And I want to speak to that. And I have nothing against Conscious, but I felt that I was a great disservice of Conscious because Conscious said that I should have called Storm. And I'm like, where do YouTubers call other YouTubers when they got a show coming out? Where do they do that at? Because nobody ever called me and said that I have this interview, Wiley. Is it okay? Never. So when he said that, I was literally getting a haircut and I wanted to say something on that particular live, and he hurried up and ended. And usually Conscious go live for about 5 hours. But doing that one particular show, he ended it without me responding to the allegation. But I would have told him personally, as a man, that I can do any show I want to do. I don't owe Storm a damn thing. That if I want to interview somebody, I don't have to call. Yes, you have a relationship with Larry Reed, but Larry Reed will never call Conscious and tell him, I got somebody come on the show. Is it okay? He's going to interview the person, period. Speaking about Larry Reed, we about to say something today. Y'all sit back and eat your popcorn because we're going to say something in this opening up monologue of the show. So Larry Reed did a show with Nene Leakes. Y'all remember that? So Nene Leakes asked him, who are your favorite YouTubers? Larry Reed responded and said, I don't have a favorite YouTuber. And I'm like, wait a minute, Larry. You don't have a favorite YouTuber when you're going on to Conscious TV Live when he's windmilling and backflipping and double dodging for you? And you don't have a favorite YouTuber? Wow. So when I heard that, I immediately was like, wow, this man do backflips and flips and dips and twirls around for Larry Reed, and his name was not mentioned? It wasn't mentioned at all. So when I heard that interview, I immediately was like, wow. But Conscious backflips and twirls around. He yells. He even cussed out Tasha K on the behalf of Larry Reed. Did y'all hear me? And so when I heard that, maybe I could have been messy and said in a title, Larry Reed didn't name Conscious TV. This is why when I heard that, I said, wow. And I was literally minding my own business. And I heard that. And today I said, I have to talk about that today on the Wiley Show, on Monday's show. I have to bring that up because I want people to hear that and see. Y'all must have missed it. But me, I listened to the entire interview and I heard that question and it stood and it disturbed me. And I said, I got to bring that up. I remember Tasha K did an interview with the twins. They're from Jamaica. Did an interview with the twins, and they do mukbangs. And they asked her, who are your favorite YouTubers? And she did not name the Wiley Show. I got a phone call from Armand Wiggins. I will never forget that night. He called me. And he said, what do you think about that interview? And I said, I don't think about the interview. It's okay. And I knew what he was alluding to because she did not name my name in the interview. So he was yet bringing it up. It didn't bother me because I knew I was not her favorite YouTuber. I was just a plant in her garden defending her. I was the collard greens that was defending her to all the other plants. But in my heart of hearts, I knew I was not her favorite YouTuber. But I remember when Armand, he called me about that. And I knew then, I said, she's not my favorite. I'm not her favorite YouTuber, but I'm a fan of her. I was just her collard greens to the other plants. Mm-hmm. And I was defending her because I didn't want to be like other YouTubers. I wanted to be different. I wanted to be out of the pack. So when people tune into the show, they're going to get the individual that's going to defend her. And that's what I was. I was defending Unwind with Tasha K. I was being different than those in the other pack because the other pack, they would say she's going to jail, she's going to prison. But I wanted to be that different collard green. I wanted to say that she was innocent, that she is not going to have to pay Cardi anything. And so I said that to be different. So I just want to put that out there in the open monologue, if I'm saying that right, and bring this up and just know in these YouTube streets, I don't have friends. I have associates. I have people that I associate with. I don't call these people my friends. Just like Larry Reed, I associate with Larry Reed. But Larry Reed is not, he's not my friend. I associated with Brother Conscious, but Conscious TV is not my friend. We never met up with each other. We never hung out. He's next about no. He's not my friend. I like Storm Monroe. I think he's a good guy, but Storm Monroe is not my friend. We are just colleagues. Okay? We are just colleagues. We're coming up to the 1 year anniversary when all of the YouTubers teamed against the Wiley Show. We're coming up on that anniversary. Christmas Day, when 99% of the YouTubers, including Larry Reed, teamed up against Wiley. We're coming up to the anniversary. So I don't know what kind of anniversary is going to be this year for Christmas, but we're coming up to that 1 year anniversary when 90% of the black YouTubers turned against Brother Wiley. I was literally by myself. Mm-hmm. And if you wasn't there last year, you missed a good episode. And now all the people that back came against Brother Wiley, they all beefing with each other. They all fell out. Contis fell out with Tasha K. Larry Reid fell out with Tasha K. Milagro Graham fell out with Tasha K. All of them fell out with each other. Storm Monroe fell out with Tasha K. And Brother Wiley, I'm still here doing my content. Still here breaking stories. And I'm yet still here. So I had to just bring it up in this little 20-minute introduction. Most of y'all don't call in. We going live early. Let me see where my other people are at. Let me let them know that we live. We are live. Wake up. Let me call some people and see where they at, because I don't see them in the chat. Let me make sure they good. Give me a second, because we live. We are live on the show. Make sure y'all share this live. I think it's going to be a part 2 this Christmas. You believe so? We are live. Can y'all hear me? Hello? Okay. Okay. All right, bye-bye. Get up out the bushes. Get up out the bushes. And so that Christmas massacre of trying to destroy the Wiley Show, they were upset at Tasha was upset at Brother Wiley because Brother Wiley had Tasha K name in Armand Wiggins' name in the same title. So Tasha K said, I am making them beef because Armand Wiggins is not emotionally strong enough to handle having his name with her name in the title. So they all flipped against me. And I told Tasha after the fact, I said, listen, I got to run my platform like I want to run my platform. And then Tasha K lied and said, I didn't say that about my child being sick. And then I showed her the text messages because she tried to deny that she didn't say that her child was sick. And I had them text messages saying, yo, child, you say your child was sick because she didn't want to link up with me and meet me. All she had to do was be a woman, okay, and say, I don't want to link up with you. And that'd have been fine. But don't put a sickness on your child because you don't want to link up with the Wiley Show. The lady sent me her address. She sent all this because she thought I was never coming to Atlanta. I was in Atlanta to go see Monique Comedy Show. And then what did she say? I can't come see you. We can't do the podcast because my child is sick. And I'm like, okay, well, that's fine, Danny. I hit up Day. I said, we're gonna proceed and we're gonna go to we're gonna proceed and go to the Monique Comedy Show. So that's how that happened. I didn't get mad, didn't get angry, didn't drag her, because I knew what kind of person she was. I knew it. She just only showed me her true colors. Because then I was able to see her child in the backyard playing out, not sick, not at all, having a good time on Instagram. Okay? And I saw that proof, and I said, I'm not going to say anything about it. I'm going to just move on and continue to do my show. But I saw what I saw. I'm like, okay. That's what we're doing? All right. So then her employee with the botch lips, shout out to A Island Boy. I like that botch. I'm gonna use that. The one with the botch lips said on Christmas, you need to give that camera back and return it. The one with the botch lips and the long cheekbone and chin. And I said, Even to Larry said you should return it. And I said these words, no refunds. Because what if the church people want to say to Larry Reed that they want their money back for giving it to the church, to the Larry Reed fund, to the ministry? What if they come and say they want the money back? You ain't going to get the money back. So over here at the Wiley Show, I said these words, no refund. And I still got that camera on the stand right now. Still got it on the stand. And I bought a new battery for it. Still using it. Now I'm using it when I do sit down interviews and stuff like that. And I still have that camera. Why would I return a camera that was given to me as a gift? I worked for that camera. I will meal for that camera. And so that's how that happened. And it was brand new out the box. Because her husband called me. Hello, Wiley. This is Mr. Kibi. I need to know your address and your information, your P.O. box, so we can send you the camera. I have the camera, and we're going to send you the brand new camera. So I gave him the P.O. box. I gave it to him. Okay, it should be there in about 4 days, and we have the camera. And you can use the camera for your show, and I will teach you how to use the camera. If you use OBS, I will teach you how to use OBS for your show. I am such a huge fan of your YouTube show. Riley, I love you so very much. You are so innocent and so funny. I watch you every day. And that's what he said. Okay? So her husband and we were talking. And then once Tasha K told her husband to stop communicating with the Wiley Show. So he stopped answering his phone. And then Brother Storm had an allegation that the employee wanted Storm to stop messing with Vaughn, and that if he don't stop messing with Vaughn, they're going to put an R word against Vaughn, and they're going to put it one against Storm Monroe. So I took Storm Monroe's side, and that is when Tasha K deleted me from the app. And then she decided to lie to her winos and say we had him on the app for free, and he's no longer allowed to be on the free, when I show evidence that I paid to be on the app. But it's okay. And ever since then, I stopped covering her interviews. And then people stopped covering her interviews. Then the traffic stopped coming on her app like it used to. Because I brought a lot of people. Then a lot of people was like, listen, I'm going to unsubscribe from the app. Only reason I got on the app is because what you said, Brother Wiley, you promoted the app. And you don't see many people covering her show on the app anymore like they used to. Mm-hmm. And then they said, Wiley, you portray. I didn't portray Storm. That neighbor is not under Storm Monroe. That neighbor can do any interview where she want to do an interview with. She's not under any contract to not do an interview with Brother Wiley. So I had every right to talk to the nosy neighbor. That's what I did. So she wasn't under a contract with Brother Storm. Now, if she was under a contract, I still can interview her. She would be the one in violation of the contract because I don't have a contract with Brother Storm. Brother Wiley did the interview with the nosy neighbor, and it was legally done. And if I did something wrong, Brother Storm can sue me. But he can't sue me because I did not do nothing wrong. And then when we had the nosy neighbor on the show, a lot of people said, Wiley, thank you. Thank you? Why are you thanking me? A sister by the name of Lorisha. That's not her real name. I'm gonna give her a fake name because I don't want to give her a real name. Lorisha hit me up and wrote me a very a 6-paragraph email. And to sum it up, Lorisha said this: "Thank you, Wiley, for doing this interview for free. Because I'm going to request a refund from Brother Storm because this lady did not have no tea." So Lorisha immediately hit me up and said, "I'm glad that you did the interview because she didn't share no tea. So I'm going to request a refund from Brother Storm." Because it wasn't no tea. And Brother Storm lied to the storm chasers. Lied to the storm chasers and said it was a better interview. Interview was better. I'm going to refund the money. And he pretended like, oh, he was so some of his spirit. The spirit God said don't do it and all that. And y'all fell for the okie doke because he tried to downplay what the Wiley Show have done, because what we have done was expose the quick coin cover up. And then he lied to the storm chasers and said that the video wasn't monetized and it didn't have a green symbol. And then I came out and said the symbol was green on our end. And then also the person that is out there, Sean Davy Way, his video was a green sign. So we just exposed the corn cover up he tried to do. So that's how that went. The quick corn cover up. And we expose it with just having the neighbor on very innocently. So that's just how that went. And I'm talking to this because I have to clear my conscience. I have to clear my conscience and say to the world what really went down. Because y'all think that I'm in a beef with Brother Storm. I'm just giving my side of the story. And I'm going to give my side of the story because it's the right thing to do. I'm drinking Red Bull and Hennessy. So I'm a little turned up. I'm drinking a little Red Bull and Hennessy. Thank you so very much for the opening up. We're going to get to our topics, but I just had to open up really quickly. Moderators, let me know how we doing with the thumbs up. Let me know if we're doing really good with the thumbs up, because I'm here. I'm really here. Let me know how we doing with the thumbs up, because y'all click that thumbs up. We want to get more people in this live. I got to get ready for Chicago. I'm going to be doing a lot of drinking in Chicago, because I'm drinking some Hennessy and some Red Bull. Okay. How we doing with the thumbs up, moderators? Now, come on now. We did a whole introduction. We need to get to 100. Hit that like button. That's the problem. Y'all come to the Wiley Show and don't want to hit the like button. Why do you watch the show and don't want to hit that like button? I'm just saying. We put on a good show. We go live. We sit down. We entertain you. You laugh. Hit the like button. It is free to do. Okay? Thank y'all so much. Y'all hitting it? Let me know how many likes we got. Oh, y'all hit me up. Well, now y'all tagging Storm. Let me see. They tagging Storm. Okay. Why they tagging Storm? I don't know why they tagging Storm. Give me a second, you guys. Hit the like button. They tagging Storm. And let me know how we doing with a thumbs up. They tagging him. I don't know why. They tagging him for what? I'm not getting scared. Why they tagging him? But that's what they do. I'm glad that y'all tagging him. You can tag him. All right, we got to go to the next topic. Thank y'all so very much. We're going to get to a lot of rough topics. I want to say thank you to the producers for coming through. Give me one for coming through and sharing this. Thank you to the producers. We have a lot that we're going to talk about. Let's just get into it. Club Q. I didn't talk about this yesterday, and it's really sad. But I got to be real. I mourned the death for the young people that passed away in Club Q nightclub. But I also have a problem with this story. And the problem that I have, and I told club promoters for years, club owners for years, y'all have to have security and metal detectors. Stop having these clubs without metal detectors and security. Okay? We, after the post nightclub situation, excuse me, that happened in Florida, y'all should have implemented metal detectors, security guards to search you before you allow on the premises. I don't understand why clubs don't have that. When I went to Georgia, I went to the bar. I didn't get searched. Nobody got searched. The security guard just wanted the money. I'm like, this is dangerous. You should search everybody that come in and the metal detectors. Like when you go through the airport, before you get to put and sit in a plane, you go through a security checkpoint. So I don't understand why these clubs don't want to do that. It needs to be a law that said if you want to have your liquor license, you must install metal detectors and you must have security. Okay? So that was that. And I have to talk about Charles Barkley because Charles Barkley said something that I want you all to hear. And I'm going to get real ghetto and ratchet and play it off the speakerphone because this is what Charles Barkley had to say about the black community. And I ain't shocked at what he said. I don't agree with everything that Charles Barkley say, but I agree with this. People treat gay people. Hold on, let me make sure. Hold on 1 second.
And one thing has always disappointed me. Black people treat gay people. We are the worst when it comes to treating gay people. And that's one thing growing up that really always bothers me. And I want to reach out to you and all my gay friends, all my transgender friends, and tell you, man, I got nothing but love and respect for you. I want you to be you. And I wanted you to know that day, because I understand being black, what it's like being gay, because you get mistreated, and it's really unfortunate and sad and stupid, to be honest with you.
I agree. It's a sector that black community, I remember after the Post nightclub massacre, I went to church. I think it happened on that Saturday night where the shootings and stuff early Sunday. And I knew, I said, oh my gosh, my uncle, Bishop Melvin Cartwright, is going to talk about this. It is not going to be good. So we went to Sunday school. And in our Sunday school, after the Sunday school teacher get through teaching, the bishop he teach for Sunday school as well. So he was up teaching, and he said, I was sad because a mother was on the news crying. It was real sad. She was crying because of son. And then I kept listening to it, and then she said something about her son love her. So I stopped, and I said, what do you think going to happen to gays? This is Sodom and Gomorrah. What do you think is going to happen? This is what's going to happen with that community. And I was so hurt and angry that you're going to put that out there, because I don't care what your sexual orientation is. You don't deserve to be deleted. So I immediately got up out of my seat and I walked out, because I don't think that people need to realize just because you are LGBTQIA, you don't deserve to be deleted at all. And this is what I want to say. And I believe they said the shooter were black. But black people have to understand, because it's a sector in the black community that do not like LGBTQIA people. It is a sector in the black community that will never, ever receive LGBTQIA. We had a conversation last night with T.S. Madison, and I was checking my comments that you all can't see, that I have to approve. 90% of the comments that I saw, and it was a lot of them, and I didn't approve it, it was mainly transphobic comments by black viewers. So I didn't approve those comments. If black people, we want equality in this world, we must also treat LGBTQIA with the same grace and the same equality. We can't be preaching equality with the white man or with white society when we turn our back on our black brothers and sisters that is a part of the LGBTQIA community. You may not agree about their stance or their lifestyle, but they don't deserve mistreatment. They don't deserve to be deleted, in my humble opinion. And I don't understand why a lot of black folks don't vote Republican, because most of y'all stand with the Republicans on LGBTIA issues. Okay? I'm just giving my thought, and I want to talk, and it's so sad because when you go to the club, it's a safe space, because it's not too many safe spaces for LGBTQIA people. It's not too many safe space for that. When you're LGBTQIA, you don't have any places on the outside that you can go and feel appreciated and feel safe. So you go to a club where you get to talk to your lover, when you get to meet other people and all of that. It's a safe space. This could have happened to Brother Wiley, because I was just at a bar in Atlanta a couple of weeks ago for Halloween. I was just at a bar. And then I was at a bar about a month or so ago when we was in Vegas. So I empathize and with the community, because this is my community. That could have been me. I've been to a bar in Atlanta. I went to a bar, JR Bar and Grill here in Dallas. Could have been me. But I also believe that these clubs and these club promoters, especially the club owners, need to implement security at your establishment. And if they don't have security and metal detectors, they don't need to be in business. Mm-hmm. And I say that humbly. They shouldn't be in business. Oh, it's so sad. And a lot of I have straight friends, they prefer gay bars and gay clubs because it's fun. It's super fun. I've partied with white folks. I remember in Chicago in Boys Town, I went to this bar, this club, and it was mainly catered towards white people. And I had the best time of my life. I was dancing, I was having a good time. So I'm definitely sending my prayers to that. And the person that did it definitely need to be charged with a hate crime, in my humble opinion. Now, I put Lawrence Fishburne on the docket because I saw an interview, and he did an interview with he did a show, and he was talking about him being abusive to a woman. He said when he was younger, because he got married young, that he abused his wife. And they were talking about the whole Tina Turner movie, the movie Tina Turner and Ike Turner, and Lawrence Fishburne was talking about how he abused his wife when he was younger, and that he had to go through therapy because he had anger issues. And I'm like, that's the reason why he acted so good in Love Don't Cost a Thing. Wow. So he was talking about this and having a whole conversation, and I was like, wow, it's other just hearing that just make me realize that, it's a lot of men out here that have been abusive in their relationships. And he said that he used to beat his wife. And he talked about it. I said love don't cost a thing. What love got to do with it? I'm sorry. The name of the movie, What Love Got to Do with It. What love got to do with it? What love got to do with it? What love got to do with it? I'm thinking about Nick Cannon. Love don't cost a thing. Yeah. Okay. Well, love got to do with it. And he acted so good. I'm like, oh my gosh, because he was beating on the wife. I've never, ever beat a woman in my life. Never, 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 never. I never put my hands on a woman. Never been verbally abusive to a woman. Never disrespected her. Never. And I've always treated women with the ultimate respect. Always. And I'm proud of myself because of that. I never put it. I've been attacked by women in high school, but never have I retaliated and put my hands on a woman because, again, it's just not good at all. So when I heard this story, I immediately said when he played in What Love Got to Do with It, he literally played that so well. He did. He played it so well. So now a lot of people is saying that, wow, he looks like an abuser. And I want to talk to his wife. And because like these, I have very big hands. Can you imagine? I have very big, everything on the body is big. I have very big, thick hands. Putting my hands on a woman? Like, can you imagine with these thick hands, with these big knuckles? I would do serious damage. You know what I'm saying? I would do serious damage. So I've never been abusive to my partner, man or woman. Excuse me. Never. Because I've been in a situation when I had got a drink thrown in my face, and I was totally done because I'm like, if you throw a drink in my face, you would throw hands on me. So once that particular person did that to me in DC, they were upset because I was laughing at a joke. I was joking, and they threw a drink in my face. That was like for the first time in history of my life where I was attacked, and this person said they liked me and they were in a relationship with me, and they threw a drink in my face, and I was like, no way, no way, no way. So I can just imagine, going through that, and it just really wasn't great at all. And then the person said, "You deserve it. Don't nobody deserve to be abused." So right in there, that was abuse. And then they say they love you. You don't love a person, you throwing a drink in their face. You don't love a person, you putting hands on that person. You don't love a person like that. You can't say I love you and you putting hands and you putting hands on me and you throwing a drink in a person's face. That's not love. That's not love. Love is to be kind and to keep your hand to yourself, to appreciate. That's love. Love is not throwing hands and body slamming somebody. That's not love. And people need to understand that. So when I had got a drink thrown in my face, I immediately exit the situation. So I would like to talk to Lawrence Fishburne's wife, ex-wife. Because I don't know if you can get delivered from beating women. I don't know. I don't know if I won't test it though, because he don't play. So we don't see how that play out. Wow. Let's go. We're gonna go. Hold on 1 second. Okay, I'm getting a text. They want me to. My producer's telling me to go to the next topic. I'm going to the next topic. Okay, who else we gonna talk about? Kanye West. I got him on the docket. We're gonna read this. This is from the Daily Beast. Kanye West said he's running for president in 2024. In a video posted Sunday to show off his clothing branded with Yeet 24, Kanye said he's going to run for president in 2024. The video posted by X17 Online featured a rapper and disgraced British commentator who Yee said is working on a campaign. When asked if it was an announcement, he said, "I guess it is. Thanks, I accept," in a pair laugh. After confirming his second White House bid, he also said his branding clothes will cost $20 a piece separately on Sunday. Kanye West celebrated being able to post on Twitter again after he was barred from posting over an anti-Semitic tweet. After posting a tweet to see if my Twitter is unblocked, West followed up with a post that says Shalom, using a traditional Hebrew salations of translated as peace. So I was getting texts and people were saying, Wiley, will you vote for Kanye West in 2024? I don't want to deal with a vote for a person that, sold away his rights, not a good businessman, been debunked out of $1 billion status, literally getting kicked out of stores and kicked out of whole situations. So I don't necessarily think that he would be a good president, especially if he don't take his medicine and he's not doing right. So I don't necessarily believe that he's going to be a good president at all. And then I'm not understanding how you're gonna, sell gear that you bought from a store and then put your logo on it. I think that's illegal. I don't think you can do that. So we definitely going to see how that's going to play out in the store. We definitely going to see how that's going to play out when it come about. So I don't necessarily believe that he's going to be a good person. Somebody sent me a super chat, said you get a tax write-off running for office. Really? Okay, I guess I'm going to run. I'm not old enough to run for office. I'm 32. I think you got to be 35 to run for office. So I'm not old enough to run for office, because he had that Balenciaga gear and he put his logo. I don't think you can necessarily do that by putting your buying Balenciaga gear and putting your logo or reselling that. I think that's illegal. I don't think you can do that. Putting your Balenciaga gear and you're using that and selling it, I don't necessarily believe that you can do that. I may be wrong, but if you have anybody that can do that, I don't necessarily believe that you can resell gear with Balenciaga. Can you do that? I don't know. Okay. But I don't know if I'm going to vote for him for that way. I'm seeing it right here. I don't know if he's going to do that. Well, would you vote for Kanye West for president? Let me know in the chat. Would you vote for him for president? Would you vote for Kanye West to be the commander in chief? And then also, I'm not going to feel bad if Kanye West run. I don't know if he would get my vote, but I don't know if he's going to run Republican or Democrat. And if he run for president, this would be definitely interesting of how this is going to go. And definitely Trump, he ran for publicity and he won. So I don't necessarily believe he will run on the Republican side, because already they're not going to vote a black man over Donald Trump, because when Dr. Ben Carson ran for president, they did not vote for Dr. Ben Carson at all. So I don't necessarily believe that Kanye West would win if he were to run for president at all. I don't think he would necessarily win, but I think it would be very entertaining for him to run, because I remember the last time he ran for president, he cried and he said all this stuff when he ran for president the last time. The man cried over and over again, talking about his family, talking about he wanted to abort one of his babies, and he got in tears and he cried. So I don't necessarily believe that he's going to be great in all of that. I'm just saying, in my humble opinion, I don't believe, and I'm just being 100% factual with it when it comes to that. Okay, now we're gonna go to our other topic here. We're gonna talk about Chris Brown and Michael Jackson. I got this from the Neighborhood Talk. Shout out to Neighborhood Talk. They have been killing it in the views. They have definitely been killing it in the views, but they wrote something that was so disturbing to me, and I'm definitely gonna bring this up. Okay, because he was supposed to perform at the AMAs, and this is what the Neighborhood Talk is alleging. Okay, they said neighbors get into this. Chris Brown sent social media into a frenzy a few days ago when he shared a video of what would have been a tribute to Michael Jackson on the 40th anniversary of the album Thriller. In the caption, Chris claimed they canceled the performance for unknown reasons, but the founder of some punk.news, Matthew, said he knows the reason why he's not, that he's the one who is somewhat behind the situation. Chris and award show producers have been working on the tribute for weeks. The producers wanted Chris to perform at the award show to give him an opportunity to showcase his talent after Chris felt he had been shadow banned from Hollywood since the Me Too era. The news claims that he have caught wind of Chris Brown performance. He immediately contacted higher ups at Disney and ABC about the optics of the performance. He said that the prospect of a convicted domestic abuser and an alleged child molester on the Disney network wasn't the best idea. The higher ups didn't even know about Chris' performance until Bellany called and told them. One of the executives found out about the performance, and they immediately told the producers to cut the tribute as a whole. The producers were reportedly furious at the decision to axe the performance because they knew the backlash they would receive. But after the calls with multiple executives throughout the company, they decided that Chris will still perform, but he wouldn't do the tribute because it would be too radioactive. They tried to come up with an alternate plan, but Chris said it was all or nothing for him. Either he does the performance he planned on doing or won't perform at all. So he didn't perform and posted the rehearsal footage on his Instagram. So in conclusion, the network canceled Chris MJ performance because they didn't want the blowback of the problematic artists being mentioned on their network at the same time. And this is all came into fruition because of Matthew, who made the initial call to ABC executive about the performance. And so it's really, really sad. Then I heard another, I'm sorry, I don't know if y'all can see it because I got the picture up there. My bad. I heard another rumor that Chris Brown, the family, Michael Jackson family did not want Chris Brown to perform because they are protective of Michael Jackson image and to protect his estate. So I heard that rumor. So I don't know who to believe. But I do believe Chris Brown would have done a great job. My thing is this: Chris Brown should have performed because he's a great artist. And then also Michael Jackson never was convicted of molesting a child, never was convicted at all. So I don't necessarily understand why they want to not allow him to perform. I just don't get it. He should have been able on that show perform because he is a great, great artist. I love me some Chris Brown. He's a talented artist, And I don't care what nobody say, the man is a talented artist. I was looking at some of his old footage. I said the man is talented artist. If he would have just kept his hands to himself, I'm gonna say something that's controversial. Because he put his hands on Rihanna and he did that, that's the reason what messed up his career. If he would have just kept his hands to himself, he would have not been in that situation. He would still be considered the next Michael Jackson. But ever since he did that, he literally been blackballed. All he had to do was keep his hands to himself, but he didn't do it. He put his hands on Rihanna. Rihanna showed her bruised face and all of that. And then what happened? Uh, he was pretty much canceled. Didn't nobody want to deal with him, and the radio stopped playing his music and a lot of things. So he really is playing catch up because he lost about 5 to 6 years off his career. So we're going to see how this is going to play out in the future. But if the record people, I'm sorry, if the executive of the AMAs, if they reached out to you to do a performance, they should have just gone and let him perform. But you know what I'm saying? So hopefully Chris Brown will stop participating in that type of way and go ahead and do his shows on his Instagram or continue to do his concert. He's still got a lot of fans that support him and all of that. I think he should perform that Thriller performance at his concert because I feel like he's an incredible artist and I feel like he would have done justice by performing by doing that for Michael Jackson. So I'm 100% agreeing of that. Okay. All right. So we'll see how this is going to play out in the future. We are definitely, I will continue to listen to Chris Brown music. I'm not going to stop listening to this music as he makes good music. Just like I'm not going to stop listening to not Chris Brown, R. Kelly music. I mean, I know how to separate the man from the music, and it is right now. I'm always going to support. I love the music, and I'm going to continue to listen to it. And I'm definitely not going to stop. Okay. So also we got to talk about Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon got 12 kids and he said he had enough and he don't want to have no more kids. I highly doubt it because unless he get a phonectomy, unless he get that thing snap, he's going to continue to have children because he loved having sex with women. And then I also got to look at the word. The Bible also said in scripture to be fruitful and multiply. The Bible never gave a limit on how many children you can have. Back in the day, great grandma or big mama had 14, 15, 16 kids, meaning that they had a whole lot of sex. People don't want to talk about that. So for him having 12 kids, really ain't no problem. As long as you keep having sex and all of that, it is what it is. I wouldn't want to have a baby by Nick Cannon because he got all type of disorders and all type of physical illnesses and stuff like that, and that just transition into the child. So I'm just really not understanding that at all. I'm just really not understanding that at all. But I know in the scripture in the Bible it said to be fruitful and to be multiplied. It did not give a number of how many children you can have. So, but great grandma and big mama had 17, 18, 19 children. And then your big daddy or grandpa or papa, he had all type of families out there. He had a family with your great grandma, and then he had a family with Mr. Barbara, then he had a family with Shirley. So let's not act about this as such a huge problem and stuff like that. I'm really not understanding that. Most women in this chat, if they have the opportunity to have a baby by Nick Cannon, they will open up their legs and have a baby by Nick Cannon. So I don't necessarily think it's a problem what he's doing. He's populating the earth. He's helping our numbers in the African American community, and there's nothing wrong with that because in the Bible said to be fruitful and multiply. It didn't never give a number of how many children you can have. And that's one thing that it's in the scripture that is definitely in there. It didn't say, well, thou should only have one child. It say to be fruitful and multiply. That's what's definitely in the scripture. And most of these women in here saying gross, if they had the opportunity to have a baby by Nick Cannon, they would definitely pull them panties to the side. Some of the women in the chat don't even wear panties. They would just give it to them, give them that good old wet, give them that good old gushy, and have about twins or 3 or 4, 5 twins. Like, get up out of here, okay? Mm-hmm. So let's not even act about it. Let me see if I can read. Do y'all have that scripture? Give me a second, because I'll read it. Let me go to Genesis 2:22. Okay, give me a second. Let me see if I can read it. And the rib of the Lord have taken a man, he made a woman, and he brought her unto man. Adam said, this is the bone of my bone, the flesh of my flesh. She be called women because she was taken out of man. And so the only problem that Nick Cannon have to do in the spiritual sense, he going to have to be married to a woman and stop committing fornication, because he's committing fornication. So he's going to have to put that pain under subjection and get married to a woman and stop having these bastards, because he's having a bastard. So if you have a child and if the child was conceived not in a marriage, that means they're bastards. Oh, come on, that's in the scripture. That's the scripture. You having children and you're not married, that make that child a bastard. Right or wrong? Do we have any spiritual people in the house right then and there? That makes them a bastard. I know I'm telling the truth here, right? Okay. So you got to stop having all these bastards, because that's in the scripture, right? Okay. That's what we're saying. Let's because bastards in the Bible. Right or wrong? Is it in there? Okay. Todd, let me see. Do I have them up here? I thought I saw this somewhere, but I think this was on this was on All About the Tea, and she broke this story on her site. So I want to read this because they've been arrested. Todd Chrisley is sentenced to 12 years in prison for tax evasion. Julie Chrisley got 7 years. Todd Chrisley sentenced to 12 years in prison for tax evasion, and Julie Chrisley got 7 years. Todd Chrisley and Julie Chrisley were sentenced on Monday, months after they were found guilty to tax evasion crimes. A federal judge sentenced Todd to 12 years in prison plus 16 months probation. His wife was sentenced to 7 years in prison plus 16 months probation. All About the Tea has been reporting on the legal troubles for years. They have a show that was out, the Chrisleys, known best stars, were found guilty by a federal jury in June on charges of criminal bank fraud and tax evasion. Prosecutors said that the Chrisleys took out $30 million in a fraudulent bank loan to fund their lavish lifestyle and extravagant spending even before they became reality television stars. They use a film production company they control to hide income to keep the IRS from collecting unpaid taxes owed by Todd Chrisley, prosecutors said. Chrisleys were charged with conspiracy to commit bank fraud, conspiracy to defraud the United States, and tax fraud. Julie was also charged with wire fraud and obstruction of justice. Julie and Chris maintained they did nothing wrong and someone else had control of their finances. All About the Tea obtained a 71-page sentencing matter, which included a suggestion of how much time they should serve. So the district judge in Atlanta handed down the sentencing. The reality couples prosecutors apparently fought for Todd to receive up to 22 years and Julie to receive up to 13 years. Their own lawyer believed the sentence was lengthy and attempted to get Todd 9 years and no hard time for Julie at all. The seriousness of the Chrisleys' crime cannot be understood after they defrauded community banks out of tens of millions of dollars. They hid millions of dollars from IRS, all while going on television to boast about how much they spent on designer clothes. Prosecutors wrote in a document, and when they learned that they were under investigation for crimes, they involved their own family members and friends to obstruct justice. The Chrisleys shared 3 children, have been married since 1996. The family rose to fame on reality TV show The Chrisleys, known best. Todd and Julie's daughter, Savannah, recently showed support for their parents during the appearance of Entertainment Tonight. They're pushing through. We are at a place where we put our faith in God. We definitely don't put our faith in a system, Savannah told the outlet. She added, I've never seen 2 people, my parents, be so steadfast in their faith and prayer, just literally on their knees every morning praying. It's just so admirable. That's kind of just my focus, just watching them and still learning and growing from them in times like this. Just kind of staying strong through it all, knowing that the end of the truth will prevail, and it may get harder before it get easy, but we have faith. I'm not shocked. Like, you go out here defrauding the government and hiding money, not paying your taxes. This is really, 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 really sad. And these people, they went around pretending like they were so rich and they buying expensive clothes and you defrauding the government. If black people go down for defrauding the government for tax evasion, then white people that do the same crime should actually serve time in prison. So I'm glad one get 12 years and another one gets 7 years. I'm super glad. I'm not mad at all. I'm glad that they definitely have gotten times to have to spend that time in prison. So that'll teach them a lesson. Don't defraud the government. All right. So we have let's go to Bobby Lytes. We're finally on here. Bobby Lytes, and this is definitely a situation on the Bobby Lytes show. That Bobby Lytes, I'm sorry, Bobby Lytes, I Love You Purr. I watched the reunion today, and this was part two. And when I tell you the white guy was crying, because this is a white guy on the show, and he was crying because he didn't want to get attacked anymore because they were always attacking him. So he was like, "No, I don't want to go on the show. I have anxiety. I don't want to go on the stage and stuff like that." And then you had Jason Lee up there saying that they would pick me over you, Bobby. And he was like, and then Bobby Lytes got mad at Jason. And then Jason said, "Oh, I didn't mean to say that, Bobby Lytes. I didn't even know I was that. I didn't mean to talk about you and stuff like that." And then I'm seeing Jason Lee with his wrinkle up jacket and with the extra large white shoes he had on. It was really a mess. And then Bobby Lytes was all into Island Boy face, yelling at him. He smacked Island Boy. And then Bobby Lytes said he had some receipts. He didn't get a chance to read the receipts. Then you seen the handler came out talking about some stuff. And then the handler was getting into a fight with the Hot Wheels, and it was just a mess. And I was really, 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 really living for. It was just so much drama. It wasn't a lot of dialogue in the whole entire situation. I'm like, what is going on with the Bobby Lytes I Love You Purr? It was definitely a big, 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 big mess. Then Bobby Lytes up there standing up saying this was getting mad at the cast. All of this, it was just a terrible, terrible, terrible thing, but it was so entertaining. And Jason Lee was even drunk on the show. He up there trying to talk. He was drunk. Now Claudia wasn't drunk, but you can tell that Claudia don't know anything about the cast. Mm-hmm. And then Claudia, she had her legs. She didn't even have on no panties. Claudia didn't even have no panties on. I'm gonna say it again. Claudia didn't even have on no panties. You can literally see her ass crack because she did not have on no panties. And then you see that Claudia, she was trying to leave. Then they had to call Claudia back. Because I know when a lady have on panties, she ain't having on panties unless she had on some Gucci thongs. Because I was looking. I said, I don't think she got on no panties. Did she have some panties? Like, because I didn't see no panties unless she had on some Gucci thongs. I don't think she had on no panties. What y'all think? I don't think she had no panties. Sure. And I was like, I don't think she had. Did she have on panties? I'm asking a question. Let me set her voice note. Let me see. Because I don't know if she had on panties. Now, I'm not going to send her voice note about that. I know what I saw. Maybe she had on a thong. Okay? That's what he did. All right? Okay, let's go ahead on to Shanquilla. Okay. So I got some updates about Shanquilla Robinson. I'm trying to find. Okay, here we go. Shanquilla that we have on there. Shout out to the North Carolina Beat. So they're saying right here, the North Carolina Beat, Shanquilla death is being investigated as a femicide. If convicted, suspects face 40 to 60 years in prison. As you know, the Mexican authorities dropped the ball big time in the death of Charlotte, North Carolina native 25-year-old Shanquilla Robinson, who was over in Campbell for a birthday celebration for Dejanay Jackson with a group of the now so-called friends. The Sleazebag, Khalil, Winter, Dejanay, Lisi, Malik, Nazar Wiggins lied to the Mexican authorities, and they told Mexican authorities that Shanquilla had alcohol poisoning when in fact she had been beaten to death, beaten and died as a result of her injuries. I don't know how the Mexican authorities confused a knot, swollen eyes, and a busted lip on a woman's face with alcohol poisoning, but the United States is pressuring in Mexico to find the truth about what happened to Shanquilla Robinson. Whenever one's responsible for the 25-year-old Shanquilla Robinson death faces up to 40 to 60 years in prison if convicted of femicide in her death, according to the Messy Legal. A video released by the North Carolina Beat shows Shanquilla Robinson being brutally assaulted by 26-year-old Dejanay Jackson, who have not yet been arrested. Sources also confirmed the North Carolina Beat that another video showed Winter grabbing Shanquilla by the neck and slamming her to the ground without getting back up. In an exclusive interview with Shanquilla's father, Bernard Robinson, he told Jared Jackson that he heard the same information but have not seen the video yet. In Mexico, femicide is a homicide in which the victim is female and the crime was committed because of the victim's gender. According to the Mexico Federal Penal Code, anyone who is found committed a femicide faces between 40 to 60 years in their prison. They also liable for a fine equivalent to 1,000 days of daily wages. On Monday, November 14, the North Carolina Beat released the photos of the 6 people who were in the Mexico trip staying the same villa with her. 2 days later, on November 17th, the state's attorney general offices of California announced an investigation on an issue for femicide and Shanquilla Robinson's death. According to Mexico authorities, the term refers to a form of gender-based violence. Many people have questioned about femicide as it relates to someone killing a female because they are a female. According to the Mexico Federal Penal Code Article 325, femicide is ruled to occur if a woman loses her life, and homicide and there's evidence of sexual violence before the death. It is also noted if the victim suffered degrading injuries such as nutrition or those evidence of post-death rape, the perpetrator is also charged with femicide, or the perpetrator has an affection relationship with the female victim before the homicide was convicted is ruled femicide. And Shanquilla K, no information has been released on why her death was ruled femicide at the time. On Friday, November 18th, the FBI Charlotte field office confirmed they have officially opened an investigation into Shanquilla Robinson's death. Wow. So that is definitely the update of what we have about that. We're going to see how this is going to play out in the next situation. We're going to keep you all updated. Okay. We're going to open up the StreamYard. If anybody want to come on, we definitely going to open up the StreamYard. Okay. There you go. Definitely. It's definitely sad that they did that to that young woman. And then you got T.S. Baxter trying to make this a transgender issue. Yeah. All right, here we go. We're going to open up the backstage. All right. Oh, damn. We've almost been here for 2 hours. Hey, welcome to the
Wiley.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Listen, I want to talk to you about Chris Brown. I don't believe that the family of Michael Jackson. I don't believe that movie. What I was told, and Zach, correct me if I'm wrong, because I might be wrong here. I might have didn't comprehend it right. But what I was told is that Chris Brown did an interview with an executive at ABC, and ABC runs American Music Awards, the AMAs, right? And they asked about the Rihanna situation, and he threw a whole fit, and he trashed the interview room, and that executive wanted to cut ties with Chris Brown, and that's why he didn't do the Thriller interview, because that's how that's particularly how, because ABC works, because ABC, they've been doing some funny stuff, and it's all with Disney. Disney owns ABC, and my thing is this: they're trying to say that Chris Brown is affiliated with SA. Like, I just don't understand that, because they have hired questionable people. Like, it's just crazy to me that have done stuff to children. So it's like, you guys are, and it's been proven. So it's like, you're going to go at Chris Brown for something that is alleged over an accusation, maybe, but you're working with all these other weirdos. Like, it doesn't make sense. And, and the nightclub shooting. Listen, my heart goes out to them. It's such a shame, and you are right. They don't want, these clubs need to start investing into more security. But my thing is this: they won't do it because they're on a budget. They do things cheap at the club. I have a friend who's an inspector, and she told me things that you wouldn't believe. They do it if they know, if there's a way to get something cheap, like the liquor, like the flooring, the roof. I heard that they don't even have full roofs on some of these bars and nightclubs. It's all just wood, and it's not even properly nailed. Like, come on, like, it's just a shame. And this economy ain't helping either. So I think that they should just take the risk. You might lose some money, but at the end of the day, it's for security. It's for people's safety. And I just think it's ridiculous that they won't invest in it because they want to be cheap. You know what I'm saying?
I agree, but I also believe public policies need to be in place, because these clubs make a lot of money. Because these clubs, that sometimes they charge 20, 30, and on some holidays they charge $40 or $50. So they need to put some money away for their security and for the people to, get justice in that particular instance. Because when a person comes into a club, they should not be allowed just to walk in the club without getting searched or without getting some type of metal detector. They need to have that in clubs. Like when you get on the airplane, when you go on the airport, before you get on the airplane, you get searched.
Right. These nightclubs make a profit, but they just want to be cheap so they can keep more money, and it's not right. It's just not right. And that's all I gotta say. Why? Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Okay. All right. Is this my girl? T Hot Mess History. Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Excellent. How are you doing today, Wiley?
I'm doing well today. Actually, I slept really good all day today, and I get into these topics. We actually going to go live after this show because we got some more tea about some things that's going on. But how are you doing? Welcome to the show.
Thank you. And it's Ty. I'm not T. Everybody says T, but I'm
Ty. Oh, okay. Ty. Hot Mess History. Ty Hot Mess.
It's all good. Wow. I want to know, did you eat breakfast this morning?
This morning? I don't know. I went to sleep this morning. I was knocked out.
Okay, because I was curious. I wanted to know if you had some cereal out of Mrs. Goldberg's or Mrs. Goldstein's
Crystal Bowls? No.
Okay, because I just have a feeling that she would have been turning over in her grave when you said shalom, when you were reading that Kanye West story, because it's shalom, the Jewish greeting. And I'd be really surprised if Mrs. Goldberg or Mrs. Goldstein never greeted you in that way.
No, she never did. It was mainly do the dishes, do this.
Oh.
I'm not there to know about her religious. I wasn't there for her religious purpose. I was a worker.
Okay. So y'all weren't doing any
No,
studies
we
together or
wasn't
anything?
praying. We wasn't learning about the
Okay.
Jewish faith. It was mainly me working.
Okay, okay. Okay, well, listen, I want her. I know she's proud of you. I know, like and I don't want you tearing up or anything, but I know she's
No, I'm not gonna tear up.
smiling down on you from Jewish heaven right now because she's so proud. But just, I just wanted to say that. I just know that had to hurt her little heart, whatever her Berg or Steen, whichever gold she is. I know she had, and that's my husky in the
Oh,
background.
husky. Okay.
He's howling. I have, yeah, he started up right when you clicked on. He was, woo, yeah, he's acting a complete fool. So that's all. I just wanted to check because I know you have a heart for Mrs. Goldstein or Goldberg. That's
Yes.
all right. Well, I'll be checking in with you, Wiley.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. Oh, that was funny. Where's my crystal ball? Paul, can you get my crystal balls, please? Bella, you live.
Hi, Wiley.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Hi,
Okay.
chat.
Hi.
I was a little late tonight, so one of the things is I did hear you talking about the young lady that was killed in Mexico, and I don't know if you saw the video earlier, but the NC Beats person, I can't remember the actual name of his page, but he played another video that it's fairly short too, but you can hear the best friend say to her while she's laying in a hammock that that they had their first dead body, and they're laughing about it because she looks like she's sleeping. And I was like, how ironic is it that you make this video and make that particular comment, and this young lady comes up deceased at the end of the trip? So I thought that was really weird. But it is on NC Beats Facebook page. He showed it earlier tonight. And another thing was the thing with the T.S. Madison. I am a huge T.S. Madison fan, have been for a long time. But I agree with you when you said before that T.S. Madison should have not kept egging it on. And he kept, she kept replying, so it made it get bigger and bigger and bigger. All T.S. Madison had to do was say the photo was photoshopped and that was not a trans woman, and left it at that. To get online yelling and screaming and talking about all the money you have, and you're still acting like a hooker that did pornography. I mean, like, you want women to, there's a lot of women that support TS for her to have left the way she did about a comment. And it's like, after a while, some people did think the photograph was true initially. But once the rumor started to die down, we all realized, oh, it's Photoshop. At first glance, you might not have known it was Photoshop. People do make mistakes. People make up lies online and misinformation and miscommunication. That is cool. But for her to get online and, it was one of y'all, it was one of them, it was one of your own, or however she said it, she thinks women are not going to be offended by that, especially women that support her. I don't know. TS need to just shut up. If you're making so much money, shut up. Make your money and shut up. Like, she doesn't know when to shut up, and it gets on my nerves. And that's the reason why her and Kaya, neither one of them could shut up. They got online and one said one was doing it, the other one said the other one was doing it, and it's like, no, neither one of y'all know how to shut up. Okay, hashtag shut up. Thank you, pardon me. Well, that's all I gotta say. Thank you.
I definitely agree, and a lot of people were saying about T.S. Madison, she provoked that because she inserted herself, and a lot of people feel like she's getting this away, making it about herself and trans women, when in fact this wasn't a trans woman that died. This was actually a biological Black woman. Then you got people that are saying that the owner of the North Carolina Beat is a clout chaser. But when you operate a website and this is your business, you talk about what's hot. Today, when I went into his Instagram live, he had about 15,000 people watching. So
Right.
That's a high subject. And he owned his own media company, which the North Carolina Beat is so popular now that the website was crashing because people are going over there for information, because he are getting better information than some of the media, the mainstream media. But I never hear people say the TMZ is clout chasing. But when a black person report on the story and it gets clicks and views and they get an audience from it, they get labeled as a clout chaser.
Exactly.
So I want to say, but again, when T.S. Madison came out, when she said what she said, it made women come out and blast her. But T.S. Madison has to understand, it's still some women that are upset when she made that joke about the lady with the maxi pad. So it's anytime that T.S. Madison talk about women, and then also the Shade Room, they're shady because they never post T.S. Madison when she do something positive. They don't post about bros. They don't post on the red carpet. They don't post about her reality show. But if it's something shady, they post T.S. Madison with a shady post. And so what that does, that drive women that don't like T.S. Madison to be shady. So they even the neighborhood talk, they rarely post, T.S. Madison when she doing something positive. They post her when she got some controversy.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think she hadn't done any research, right? She didn't know a whole lot about the case. She just wanted to dead the rumor of it being a trans person. And I understand that, nobody wants to get blamed for something they didn't have anything to do with. But it's like, does she have anybody who helps her when she gets on social media or, when she appears in public? Because she has no coof. She's real hood with it. Like, even though she's saying I'm making all of this money and I'm better than, and girl, you get out here and you say the craziest things online. And it's like, sometimes you have to step away from the internet before you reply to anything, because ultimately she can stop her own bag if she says the wrong thing.
Because that's just how it is. Just like a person was saying that, Mr. Jackson, I'm sorry, the guy that interviewed, Shanquilla's dad on the North Carolina beat, they said that was insensitive. But what I'm saying is, you do shows and for clicks and views. Do you understand the media? It's their job is to interview victims. So I don't see a problem with her doing that. But when it goes back to T.S. Madison, I personally feel like T.S. Madison should get involved. But she also said that Funky Dineva called her and said that it was a trans woman that beat her up. And then T.S. Madison said that's what triggered me to respond, because Funky Dineva called and said it was a trans woman.
So instead of having that conversation with Funky Dineva, she came blasting all cisgender women online. And it was one of her own. Like, have that conversation with your friend on the phone behind closed doors. Everything does not have to go on social media.
Okay.
And she had to put it up there, so now they tearing her a new one, and she's still yelling and screaming, and trying to tell people. And even when she did her live the other day, she only brought her friends on. She didn't allow the quote unquote cisgender women to tell her what they really felt about what she said. She brought people on there who were going to champion her and be on her side and say, I understand too. Or it was one trans woman, and then I don't know who the other person was, but it's like another problem that people have, instead of telling their friends the truth, when their friends get a little clout or if they're on TV, because they want to be in their good graces and a part of I'm T.S. Madison's friend, they don't tell them the truth. What she said was insensitive. We're worried about the young lady getting justice. We don't care nothing about if it was a man, a woman, a trans man, a transformer, a Decepticon that killed her. We want justice, period.
Absolutely. Justice, period. Well, we thank you so very much for calling in.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. No problem. Wow. The people is calling in. Let's we got the Voice of New York backstage, so we definitely gonna bring on. So make sure y'all click the like button. The people is definitely coming on. The Voice of New York, you're live on the air.
Hi, Raleigh and Chad. This is the Voice of New York. So I have a couple of things to highlight of what you mentioned, Wiley, with the Chris Brown situation. I felt like if they knew before that Chris Brown was accused of what he was accused of, so why even extend the invitation to him? Have him prepare and do this elaborate preparation for the tribute of Michael Jackson to just snatch it away. Isn't that like a violation of contractual agreement? I feel like you publicly embarrass me, and then you have me schedule out of my time to give the best performance. Because we all know. I remember when Chris Brown did a performance for Michael Jackson, or I think it was the BET or the MTV Awards. And this is when Give Me That was out, and he was like jumping to different parts of the stage, and like she had on the gloves and everything. Like Chris Brown loves Michael Jackson, right? I feel like he needs to sue AMA for something, because you're gonna embarrass me and then pull it out last year. I could have went on tour. I could have done many different things, right? I felt like they just used that, but it's a bigger reason. And I don't know. I know you mentioned, Wally, that you're not gonna cancel Chris Brown, and you're still going to listen to his music. I feel like his music is trash right now. There's nothing with his music that I enjoy. I feel like he's a better performer, but his last couple of albums have been trash. And I don't support Chris Brown, not only because of his abuse thing, but he does not like, in my opinion, dark-skinned women. He have shown several times that he's very anti-Black women, and that's one reason why I don't support him at all.
But let's think about that. We don't have to necessarily like dark-skinned Black women. It's his preference. Maybe his preference. He like vanilla. When I go get ice cream, sometimes I like chocolate. Sometimes I like vanilla.
But the difference is that he is using derogatory terms in order to justify why he doesn't. Like, I don't care if you don't like who you don't like. The thing is, don't chastise and don't insult those that you're not feeling to then justify why you like the other group. That's garbage to me, especially if it's rooted in anti-Blackness. For example, saying that all Black people or some Black women are loud and ghetto. But I see white women that are loud. I see Spanish women that's loud. I see so many different races are loud. But why is that anger issue is always putting on a Black woman and then saying that's the reason why I don't date Black women? Because that's dumb. You don't know all Black women, right? Let's say the woman that you do not connect with them. And it doesn't have to deal with, the race of them as well. That's very stereotypical. He tends to do that a lot. And there's been several of his behavior that shows that he is anti-Black women, especially dark-skinned Black women. So that's why I don't
Maybe because some dark-skinned Black women that he came in contact were angry. Maybe he's not attracted to dark-skinned women. That's maybe not his type.
And I say it doesn't have to be your thing, but don't go and berate a group because that's not your thing.
I've never seen him berate a group, man. I've never seen that.
He has been seen where he made derogatory comments and say certain things. I feel like he's the one that says, "Oh, he doesn't want no dark butt" or anything, like a couple of years ago, or things of that nature. Let's say like things that's out of pocket, or during his whole entire when he's in the club in VIP. There's like certain sayings that had that women have came out about how he felt, which is fine. You can say you don't want different people, but if it's rooted in colorism, then I don't care for him. Like, I don't care about Chris Brown. Like, you don't love dark-skinned women, and I'm a dark-skinned woman, then whatever. Why would I go behind someone who don't even support his own kind or show favoritism and being colorist and also is an abuser? That's the main reason why he's not really getting the bag like that. He's an abuser.
I don't necessarily believe that. I just think that the only women that are angry is dark-skinned women. But dark-skinned women have to understand some people don't like dark-skinned women. Some people just like chicken wings. You like the dark meat. You don't. So I just think it's just his personal preference. But I do believe his language should be better of why he chose not to deal with dark-skinned women. But everybody don't like dark-skinned women. It is what it is. Some people just like white women. Some people just like light-skinned women. It is what it is. And then some people just like dark-skinned women only and don't like me. I love dark-skinned women. I think they're the most beautiful women on earth. But that doesn't mean the next brother like them. So that is what it is. But I do believe Chris Brown should have performed at the American Music Award because they said he could perform. They knew what he was performing, and to cancel on the last minute is definitely sad, and it's very disrespectful in my humble opinion.
It is very disrespectful. I mean, but while I'm not saying you're not supposed to have your preference. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I don't see Asian people or Asian men going out and say I don't like my Asian women. They too docile. They're too this and that. You never see that. Right? That's the main reason why the manosphere is so big as it is, because they look goofy. And now they out here. Most of the men are out here trying to say they're Black Jews, the true Israelites, and now they're going back and forth with Jewish people. But it's like you say you all these things, right? You say you all these things to fill this type of void, but you don't own anything in your community. You don't own nothing. So it's kind of like you using all these type of words to show that you're empowering, but you don't even respect your woman. It's goofy. So that's why all races of men look at black women like, okay, black men like, okay, you're an embarrassment. That's why they don't get no respect. You don't own anything. You have no power. You don't respect your woman. You don't respect your children. You in jail back and forth. You're uneducated. It's kind of like you're a big joke. And then here you are just having this back and forth with colorism. It's kind of like we don't understand you can have a preference. I don't care. But don't berate one over the other of why you're trying to justify it like you meet all of them. Because no other race of men really do that but black men. With that said, with the Shanquella incident, this is a very, very, very sad situation. To go abroad in another country and bring in niggatry there, or not, I don't want to use the N-word, but like bringing the ghetto-ness there and then murdering somebody. My thing is this, and everyone keeps saying, they would have told the police while they were there. Why would you record it? Let me tell you. You see, when you see crime and you're like, dang, they really beating her up. Like they're like being violent. If you don't know if they're gonna kill you too. So I feel like the person who's recording this was so shocked and wanted to make sure that justice is had for Shanquella, but was so spooked at that time, because if they're able to do this to her, imagine what they do that to you, to keep you silent. So I think that person wanted to safely go back to America and drop all the tea to make sure that they save themselves, because technically they're accessory to murder. No, I don't think any of them speak Spanish. None of them speak Spanish. And I do think justice needs to be served, right? But I don't think if let's say if I know, like I'm witnessing a crime, I'm gonna record it to clear my name. But next thing you know, I don't want them to murder me too. So I think, when you're in a panic mode and you're seeing this, you wouldn't know what you're going to do, but you want to think smart at the same token. With that said, Khalil is a garbage. He's a horrible friend. And I'm thinking, when did Shanquella ever realize in any type of conversation that these people weren't really for her? Because sometimes, everyone sees the good in their friends. You always have disagreement with your friends, right? But there are certain things that happen and you just brush it off. And maybe she wasn't aware because she could have a good heart. And sometimes your foes never show who they truly are until you're by yourself and you're vulnerable. And that's a lot of things. There's a lot of people who have family members that stab in their back, who have best friends who stab it in their back. That happened all the time. So what happened to Shanquella can happen to anybody. I just think it was so unexpected. And the thing is, you have men who were there who are cowards, who watched this black woman get murdered and did nothing about it. Isn't that sad? Black men always think they want to lead, and you can't even lead this, gay or straight. It doesn't matter. You watch and say, you're not going to fight back, which means she's defenseless, which means she didn't want to fight. And you let her get rocked, that she had a cervical spine injury, which means because that C1 vertebrae was not intact, it messed with her brainstem, which is part of your breathing apparatus. And that's when she died. Then you had this little wildebeest, WWE Winter with the bushy eyebrows. She did look trans. She looked trans to me. I thought that was a dude at first. And then do some move on her to really put her out. I don't care how mad you're at with someone. Wiley, you know how hard it is to break your own finger or to break someone's finger? If you try to bend your finger or break or put someone's finger, you could feel that snap. Like, and there's something in you that'll be like, nah, bro, it's feel uncomfortable, right? It feel uncomfortable. And you sat there and rocked this shorty face up like she's a floppy doll. And then another person came in and nobody said anything. Like this was World Star. And then you're trying to hide it. Then you're so broke. And this is how dumb they are. This is the problem. Wally, not everyone can commit crime. And this you think and not everyone are high level criminals. Because clearly they did this was the most sloppiest thing ever, and I'm glad they get caught. How are you gonna murder someone abroad and then use their credit card to then get home? Like, how goofy are you? You deserve to get locked up and get the death penalty. They don't even deserve the death penalty. Jail for life. Or in Mexico at that. And then use her credit card. That's fraud. And then you went home. Khalil Fat Tail went home and sat with her parents and then lie. Like, you know how wicked your heart has to be. Like, the guilty conscience is just gone. I'm glad she's getting justice, please make sure you donate to her GoFundMe, to raise money, because this justice needs to be had. With that, Wally, another thing I wanted to talk about is this Nick Cannon with the many kids. You mentioned, fruit and multiply, whatever case they be, right? You mentioned that. Oh, your grandmother and all those people, they had a lot of children and blase, blase. Wally, come on, let's be honest. First of all, like, expenses were cheap back then. You could go get gum was 5 cents or maybe 2 cents. Then think about it. How can you give emotional support to and mental support to all those scattered children?
But that question should be towards really back in the day, because they were poor. You know what I'm saying? They were poor with 12 or 13 children. He's very financially stable. None of his baby mamas took him to court for child support. So obviously he's providing for those children. I think he can be in those children's lives and give them all the emotional support they need. Because I heard from the grapevine, he's a great father.
How can you be a great father? You can't be in 12 places at the same given time.
No, but
let's be honest. Like, it's more than giving financial means to be a parent.
I get that, but y'all he's a terrible father. He's not a terrible father. Eddie Murphy had a lot of kids, and he's there for his children. So
he had a lot of kids with the same woman that lived under the same house.
He have children. Some that's not under the same woman. He got I think twins with another woman. So what I'm saying is with Chris Brown, not with Chris Brown, with Nick Cannon, he have children, and he's definitely there for his children. So he's a good father. His baby mother said he was.
How can you confirm he's a good father? How can you confirm you're a good father? Are you there? Are you
his children mother all have said he's a good father. None of them have to complain.
I'm not okay. Well, you have like how many baby mothers? Like 5 or 6 baby mothers, right? Or something like that, sprinkle around the world in many different places. His kids are different ages of their life. You think if all of them have football practice, he can travel to each football practice? He can't do that. You can't be there at one time. And of course, the woman's going to say he's a good father.
It's a lot of children that's in sports that a parent can't go to all of their games because it's on the same schedule, right? You may have a recital, you may have a football game, but that does not make that parent a bad parent because she can't make it to both or he can't make it to both. No, as long as you're there financially, as long as you're there for support, it is what it is. He's not going to be able to make everything that they do because he's a working father in Hollywood, and that's another point people need to understand.
But he's going to be an absentee father that will turn into neglect because he won't be there all the time. Especially if you have, like, sometimes you have to be present in your children's life. He won't be present in their lives because he's not living in the same place as them. He might as well bring all his children with all the concubines into one roof, excluding Mariah Carey kids. So I know Mariah is probably embarrassed that she had children with this buffoon, and then raise the kids.
I don't think so. She never said that. She never got it.
He's a deadbeat dad.
She never said where did you get that information from?
4 kids in 1 year. Like, look, let's be honest. Look how neglectful that is. That you're just sleeping around like you're a breeder. That's like what dogs do. Have a lot of puppies, a lot of litter.
It's nothing against you because you have a lot of children. What about mothers that have a lot of children? Does that make them deadbeat mothers? With different
the mother always have the child. The mothers always have the kids.
But I'm saying, how can they go to the same game if Pookie and Ray Ray are the same game?
I will say, mothers who have a lot of children by men who are garbage are deadbeats too. They are deadbeats. Why would you want a Pookie and a Ray Ray to impregnate you? Why do you want to struggle? Listen. No one wants to struggle. If you purposely put yourself in that position to be a struggle mom. Now, it's different if you didn't know he was a bumba. Then I can say she didn't know. But after a while, you just can't be getting impregnated by different type of men. Same thing with men. You can't just be pregnant in different type of women. I think that's disgusting because there's no family that's being built. And then you out here looking out of place, complaining one father kid is there, the other father kid is not there. You arguing over, this kid can't get McDonald's because the other kid's not getting McDonald's. Like, what is this? It just built resentment. Same thing with Nick Cannon. He looked foolish having all these children by different women and trying to say, I want to be Abraham. And then he has an autoimmune disease. He has lupus. Why would you want to pass that down to your children? Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, you should be even more cautious because lupus is a serious disease. just like sickle cell disease. The amount of things that you have to deal with. That's not an easy disease. Oh, you want to use their bone marrow? What is this, sacrifice? He's garbage. Lastly, before I get off Wiley, is this Kanye West thing. Can I just shout out to Elon Musk for putting people back on Twitter that's very controversial? I feel like I just like the fact that he decided to do that. Trump is back online.
Okay, we talked about that yesterday, but go ahead.
I know, but Kanye West, you talk about Kanye's running for 2024, right? You mentioned that in your live today.
Absolutely,
so
yeah.
Right? So with Kanye's running, I think if Kanye's want to have a true chance, I think him and Trump should be on the same ticket in order to get more votes. But I don't think Kanye West can run by himself and win because he doesn't have that family structure at this moment. And he said things to offend a certain group, and they're not having it. And he's not that religious, right? Like he's not like he's not like a evangelist or anything of that nature. So they're not gonna vote for Kanye West. Like at this point, he's not there yet. But I do think he can make it if he partner up with maybe Ron DeSantis or Trump. Then he have a chance to at least get in office, which I feel like that's unlikely. That's all I have to say about that. Wiley.
All right, thank you so very much.
No problem. Have a great day.
We have somebody in the chat that said that they are tired of hearing your voice, or the voice of New York. Can we get a caller to call in and see if the phone lines is working? Give me a second. Can we get a caller to call in to see if the phone lines is working? Can we get a caller to call in to see if the phone lines is working? Can we get a caller to call in to see if the phone lines is working? Okay. Okay. Do not introduce new topics in the chat. Okay, you will be blocked because we're not talking about that. All right. Any other topics you want me to talk? Send me a DM. Okay. Not introduce new topics in the chat. You will be blocked. All right. Can we get a caller to call in? Because I want to see if the phone lines is working. All right. We're waiting to see because I'm trying to see if the phone lines. I just did something. Okay. All right. Thank you so very much. Meet the people who own BET. Oh, wow. Okay. So I'm trying to see if the phone lines is working. Okie dokie. Thank y'all so very much. Okay. I'm waiting on somebody. All right. Hold on, let me delete that one. Okay. All right, let's see if the phone line's working. 2284. Can you hear me? I just want to make sure it's actually working. Can y'all hear the caller? Go ahead. Can you mute me in the back? Because I want to make sure they can hear you. Hello? Yeah, because I want to make sure they can hear me. Can you hear me? Yeah, because I want to see if they can hear you. Comment below if y'all can hear the caller. Let me know if y'all can hear the caller. I'm sorry, because I'm trying to. Okay, they still can't hear. So I thought I fixed it. They said they still can't hear the caller because I'm gonna find out where I'm doing actual wrong. Thank you, caller, for calling in. Thank you. Okay, thank you so very much. So we're gonna resume. I'll be back on the next episode. Thank y'all so very much. Because I'm gonna transfer to my laptop. So we're gonna go back live, and I'm gonna transfer to my laptop. Thank y'all so very much. We will see y'all in the next episode. Make sure y'all comment and subscribe. Thank y'all so very much. We've been on here for 2 hours, and I'm gonna come back live and transfer my laptop. All right, peace.